Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this unseen episode based on this week's SmackDown. We're going to start with the Wyatt Sicks folder because there were some Wyatt Sicks things on the show tonight. Brady starting us off though, 4 hours ago telling me that according to Tom Colohue, WWE are thrilled with the Wyatt Sicks involvement with American Made and they want to move them on to something new. But they're worried about leaving American Made behind, which is very interesting. I personally would like to see them move on to something new. I think that would be the right way to go. But there was a few teases tonight that we might be moving on to something new. We also got this from Nikki Cross. There you are with the circle emoji, the hat emoji, the bird emoji. So there she is under the ring, of course. People reading into these emojis, wondering that obviously is a Bray reference. That is a Howdy reference. The bird? We still don't know. I mean, a lot of people think the bird is Alexa, but she does keep using it herself. So, you know, there is a growing theory that the bird, the night bird, might actually relate to Nikki Cross. Which is interesting. But other than that, a pretty standard tweet from her. But this was the big talking point. Crispy Wrestling, and, you know, we saw this live. Wyatt Sicks tease in the background of a Nick Aldis interview. Now, we've spoken a lot about how these keep popping up in the background of women's tag teams. And a lot of the times, Damage Control. And so there was a big theory out there that Damage Control were going to be targets. I struggled with that because I just don't see how logistically we can do that because we've only got Nikki. Of course, we could bring Alexa in, but Damage Control, when they get Dakota back and they get Asuka back, that's 4 women. How is Nikki and Alexa going to deal with 4 women? So, I don't know. I was taking it a bit more that it was the women's tag division that was on notice. But it being in the background of Nick Aldis is new, is noteworthy. And they really did make sure that you saw it. Now, I don't know if this was just a coincidence, but they could have made sure you didn't see it. They didn't have to, they purposely moved the camera over so that this became visible. So this was in the background tonight on SmackDown. And then again, I missed this one. I think Jade was stood in front of it because I was looking in the background. I couldn't see it. And then right towards the end, people are like, no, there is one. It's there. And this popped up again behind women's tag teams. This time behind Jade and Bianca when they were talking to Nia and Tiffany. So, I don't know. I mean, look, this being behind Nick Aldis, who is the boss, and then being behind the women again and the tag belts. I do wonder if this is us planting seeds for Alexa or planting seeds for something that's on the way. We have had Plutos in the background before, as we said, behind Damage Control and behind Albert and Isla. But then we'd go a week or 2 or 3 weeks without anything, and then we'd get another one. Now we've had 2 on the same show. And some people are saying that, and I think it's a perfectly acceptable theory. Some people are saying, yeah, but what if it's just metalwork for the Wyatt Sicks? What if this is metalwork that's used for their door and for sets and stuff like that? My question would be, why is it on SmackDown? I don't know that we use the same stuff for Raw and SmackDown. In fact, in my mind, they have different crews, different setups. Like, they're different. I don't know that this is the same gear that then goes to form Raw. It could be, but I don't know that that is the case. So, yeah, mystery, questions, certainly something to keep an eye on. Let's go WWE, shall we? And there's a fair bit in this folder. So, yeah, this was breaking as we were starting. So, Estrada, the old manager of Umaga, right? Armando, he has signed a Legends deal. Now, I don't really read too much into that. I am a bit surprised by it because never the biggest star. And I don't know that we're clamoring for a figure. or for him to do meet and greets. Maybe we are. Maybe we are. Maybe there's communities out there, countries out there. Perhaps they're thinking there's a way that we can merch. Perhaps we need him for some Umaga merch that we're planning, or maybe we're going to do a figure 2-pack or something like that, you know? Normally, you sign someone to a Legends deal when you want to release figures and you want to release merch and you want them to do access. You know, Hogan's on a Legends deal. We've just signed Jacqueline to a Legends deal. But there was a theory that kind of did the rounds, which I saw, where people were questioning, could he be a manager? The only thing I would say is, if he's going to come back and be a manager in 2024, 2025, I don't know that that's the right deal that you need. I think he would have to go under a performers deal. I would be very interested to know what deal Paul Ellering is on, because obviously he's the manager of AOP. I'd be interested to know if he's under a Legends deal, or if he's under a performance deal, or is he under both? I'm only saying that because if he's going to be an on-screen personality, that's obviously very newsworthy. If he isn't, and we're just going to release a figure and some merch, it's less newsworthy. So just something to be aware of. WrestleOps, so Batman, thank you. WrestleOps said there are rumblings that Death Rebel's contract with WWE will not be renewed upon expiration. WWE is starting to use mainstream artists. That's expected to be the norm going forward. And of course, we know Megan Thee Stallion is the person that has provided the theme for SmackDown. So mainstream artists being, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like some of the greatest themes in history are ones that were created by Jim Johnston, especially for the wrestlers. Us just going out and getting a Taylor Swift song or a Sabrina Carpenter song, I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of feel like those songs are out in the world anyway, and people are enjoying them anyway, and it's not really special or specific to the wrestler. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it works. It does work. You know, if you think about like CM Punk and some of the themes that he's had, and you think about like Motorheads, I mean, it can work. It's just, I don't know. My preference, I think, will always be creating specific tailor-made themes in-house. Just like we did with Undertaker and Stone Cold, and, you know, like those to me are some of the greatest themes. So I'm not down on it. It's just, listen, I'm not a fan of Death Rebel. I know many of you aren't. I don't like seeing people lose their jobs, but it's going to be a step in the right direction, innit? Yeah, might not be my perfect solution, but it's a step in the right direction. So yeah, Batman, shout out to you. Jordan, thank you. So as reported by Backup Hangman, I don't even know who that is, you know. I don't even know who that is. Lucha Bros will be main roster bound. However, there is no timeline for Penta or Phoenix. What I would say is that as a source, I don't know. For me personally, I would be shocked if they went straight to the main roster. The reason why is because do I have to go through the list again? Asuka, Shinsuke, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Drew McIntyre when he came back. Now we're seeing Julia, Ethan Page. Like, there's so many that go straight to NXT. And as I just said on the live stream, NXT is not just about learning to wrestle. It's about learning what you can and can't do in WWE, right? It's about going there and understanding where you get your cues from, how they're communicated, all the little intricacies, like the expectations, the WWE style, how much should you interact with the fans? It's one thing to wrestle in a different company or wrestle on the indies. It's something completely different to be ready for Raw and SmackDown. And I feel like NXT should be viewed as a welcome to WWE center, right? If you don't know how to wrestle, we'll teach you. If you've never been in WWE before, we'll go through the expectations. It's a little bit like a training course when you first start a job. So I disagree wholeheartedly with those that are horrified that Motor City Machine Guns are going to go to NXT. For me, it's exactly the right place where they should be going. Same with the Lucha Bros. Now, there are exceptions. People will point to AJ Styles. There were reasons for that. And again, we detailed that on the live stream. So yeah, I was expecting them to go to NXT. I'm still not 100% sold on this because I don't know who this is as a source. But they must be pretty decent if all these people are coming out and kind of saying, look, this is what's being said. But yeah, well, let's see. But Penta, Phoenix, Lucha Bros, seemingly WWE bound. Someone else that's seemingly WWE bound here, WWE Ether. Tagging me in this from Cultaholic Wrestling. WWE is said to be extremely horny to sign Daniel Garcia. Triple H has reportedly believes that Daniel Garcia is the next great technical wrestler, with comparisons to Roderick Strong and Bryan Danielson. This coming from Ebu of Wrestle Purists. So, again, people picking up on that as a source. I don't know. I mean, Wrestle Purists definitely are a big name. I don't think they're putting out fake news, but I don't really like this wording of it. You know, extremely horny to sign Daniel Garcia. I don't know. There's been rumors about him coming in anyway, so it just kind of ties in with those. So yeah, I just wanted to include this because obviously we've got a new SmackDown logo, and here you can see the S that they're using. They're just using the S, so smack down. So the D is at the bottom. The whole thing is the S, but they're just using it in like isolation. I think it looks pretty good. The whole logo itself, I've been asked loads of times, what do you think about it? I'm at about a 6.5. I started at a 6, but it's growing on me. I don't hate it. It just felt a bit industrial, a bit metallic, a little bit cold. But the more I've seen it, the more it's grown on me. So, and it's a good way of using the S, and the S is obviously on the microphone as well. So, and look, it's at the end of the tag on Twitter as well. So they've actually chucked it on, which I hadn't noticed. It's on the end of that as well. So interesting. Yeah, so this was Carmelo against Andrade, and look how brutal that is. The Spanish Fly coming off the barricade really close to disaster. I think by this point the weight was in the arm here, but you don't want your body weight being on your head or really on your shoulder. Like really, you want to be landing flat. You want it on your chest. I mean, that is not where you want to be landing. But obviously he's got his arm down to make sure it's not all... I mean, if that was all on his neck, that would be horrific. But yeah, horrible looking spot there. So Tribal Wrestling, thank you. Here we've got this. So just announced, after beating Carmelo Hayes tonight, Andrade will challenge LA Knight for the US Championship. So Andrade would win this match, and of course that sets up a match for the US Championship on SmackDown next week. That is a detail that might have just slipped by people. That match next week. Thinking Carmelo's going to get involved, but you know. Yeah, so unfortunately this post has been deleted, but I know what it is. So it's to do with Nia setting up that tag match, and I'm really confused by it. I thought the segment was quite poor because I don't think it was very clear. Nia said whichever of you wins is going to get the title shot, and whoever loses will be kicked off SmackDown. But why does she think she's going to lose the match? I don't like. Why does she think whoever of you wins? So what I'm confused by is surely Nia is going into that tag match next week thinking she's going to win. So I understand the person that gets pinned gets kicked off SmackDown, but who would get the title shot? Who would get the title shot? Would Tiffany get the title shot in that instance? I feel like we haven't really fully explored or explained. Like, we just know there's a tag match, and whoever wins is going to get the title shot, and whoever loses is going to be kicked off. I don't know what it means for Tiffany. What if Naomi pins Tiffany? I'm guessing nothing happens to Tiffany. I'm guessing Naomi gets the title shot. Bayley would then be kicked off. But what if Nia pins Naomi? Who gets the title shot then? If Nia pins Bailey or pins Naomi? I don't understand. Like, to me, this is just... Why didn't you just have Bailey against Naomi, winner gets the title shot, loser gets kicked off SmackDown, two friends turning on each other, being made to go against each other because that's what Nia has decided, you know? Like, why didn't we just do that? Why have we made this so flipping complicated? As I said here, why does Nia even think she's going to lose the match? If Nia pins Bailey, who gets the title shot? Does Nia just have the day off? I hate it, man. I thought it was a rubbish segment. Irish Sam said, I'm loving the double screen with adverts not interrupting the visual if you are watching. So picture in picture, basically. So, I mean, it's hard for me to comment. I'm guessing, did you not have picture in picture on Fox? Today was the first SmackDown on USA, and people were enjoying picture in picture. Cody Rhodes has changed his mind and he's going to team with Roman at Bad Blood. Cody and Roman on the same team. Huge. Mixed reaction in our chat. 77%, I think it was, were on board. 23% not keen. But, yeah, these two as a tag team. Roman and Cody working together. That is big. That is huge. So, yeah, that was massive. Wrestle Up said we had a 6-minute overrun going back to the USA Network. We did. Yeah, and look at this. Executive producers, Paul Levesque and Lee Fitton. Triple H must feel like he doesn't get enough credit, so he's put his name at the end. They were the only ones as well. I thought there was going to be loads of credits. They were the only credits. Never seen, well, we have seen credits before. We have had credits before, but... I mean, you can go back to the early WrestleManias, but this is bonkers. Yeah, weirds. Popped up at the end. Apparently, the dart match was Sheamus against Ludwig Kaiser. And here, look, we've got him saying, he don't like you. He don't like you. That was Solo right at the end of the show, pointing out that Cody doesn't like Roman. Roman doesn't really like Cody. He's trying to plant seeds. But my favourite bit was Jacob, who was just so dialed. Jacob didn't care what was happening. Jacob wasn't bothered. The Avengers could have literally got together. And his only focus is, how hard can I acknowledge my tribal chief? Can I acknowledge Solo any harder than I'm already doing? That was his only thought. He didn't give a flip. So that was WWE. We did just skip top story, and the top story, of course, is the new logo. So there we go. As I said, bit cold, little bit industrial. I give it like a 6.5 at the moment. I felt a little bit warmer on the show than this. Feels very sharp, a little bit attitude, which I'm sure people are enjoying. But yeah, I've heard a few different criticisms about it. I don't love it, but I think it's fine. And it was starting to grow on me a little bit more. So J-Dog, shout out to you. Wrestle Up said the new theme is Never Play by Megan Thee Stallion, featuring RM of BTS. So there we go. That coming from Wrestle Votes, and I believe it was confirmed. And then a new poster for SmackDown. People pointing out Logan, like pretty front and center, really. But LA Knight, Cody, Bianca, Tiffany making the poster, Nia, Roman, no Bailey. I think Bailey loses because Naomi is obviously married to Jimmy and they're in a relationship, and you wouldn't want to split them up. And I think Jimmy will come back on SmackDown. So I can't see them moving Naomi. So I feel like Naomi will get the title shot. We'll get Naomi Nia at Bad Bloods. And then we will get Bailey going maybe to Raw, but maybe for NXT, ready for that move. Perhaps she goes to NXT for a little bit, just, you know, month or so, whilst it moves to the CW network. And maybe we could do some big matches with Bailey, and then maybe she goes Raw. Ultimately, I think she goes to Raw, but a little stop off at NXT is certainly not out of the question. So we've done Wyatt Sicks, we've done WWE, we've done the top story. Let's go to fun. As I said, man, he couldn't acknowledge him any harder if he tried. Yes! Look at this, Ricky! Ricky was the talk of SmackDown. Obviously, Randy came back, but Ricky was what everyone was talking about. Here's a bit of banter putting my face on Ricky's body. This has been my dream for a long time, actually, to see me as Ricky. And a bit of banter has made my dreams come true. I wonder if Byron ever found his shoes. Yes, it was even pointed out on commentary. Byron was backstage in his socks. And I was like, why is he in his socks? Obviously, it's because they don't want him to be too tall. They want him to look a little bit shorter compared to the women. But I don't think the camera was meant to pick it up. And actually, Corey on commentary was like, I hope Byron finds his shoes soon. So there we go. Kelly, the wise lady, thank you. And here's a Kenny for your thoughts saying, we lost a true legend today. R.I.P. Ricky. 2024 to 2024. So obviously they brought Ricky out as a little fun, little diversion. And then, of course, ultimately it would be Randy that would return. We haven't seen Randy in a few weeks. Not the biggest thing in the world, but a nice little moment. Nice little moment. I actually haven't watched this from World of Wrestling. Says loves this. It only goes for a minute. I haven't seen it. So we'll have a little look. So this...
We got the sway.
Oh.
Double buys.
Double buys. So she's watching her entrance.
This is it.
This is it.
Lights hit at the exact time that I need it. Jacket off. I love this. Every time you guys just set the bar higher and higher. I'm blown. I'm blown. This is, look. No, wait.
So that's Jade making her way down there, watching her entrance.
You look cute.
You look cute. Oh, she loves it.
You got the abs perfect.
Oh, I thought she said ass. She said abs. She said abs. So there we go. She is loving it. Right, here, Matt Riddle just, I don't normally include this, but I wanted to include this one because I just thought it was pretty fun, to be honest. He actually had a little story as to when he bumped into Tony Khan, right? And he said it was like a little bit awkward. He turned around and said that he bumped into Tony Khan. Tony Khan said to him, I really love the match that you had like that night. It was in Chicago. Really loved the match that you had. And he was like, oh, you liked that? But apparently, like, Riddle said it a bit weird. And Tony just sort of looked at him. And Riddle sort of looked at him back, and it was, like, really awkward. And apparently Riddle was just like, okay, good. And walked away. In my mind, that's a meeting I wish we had recorded. Like a real life awkward interaction between Riddle and Tony Khan. So I did enjoy reading that. It is on Wrestle Talk if you want to seek it out yourself. So there we go. That was it. That was Unseen. That was SmackDown. Obviously, we'll gather together all the other little bits coming out of the show. We'll grab them together and put them into an episode that'll go up tomorrow. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed SmackDown. Don't forget, we are live with Noche UFC. Massive show that we will be doing the live stream for. Very excited for that. Appreciate all the support. Have a great evening. Bye for now.